Hey everyone, I'm the Saxophone Oracle with an encore presentation of one of my earliest videos. I strive to bring you great content on a weekly basis. I upload every Tuesday. However, that's not always possible. It's the reality of life. Fortunately for you, though, hardly anyone knows who the Saxophone Oracle is. And we can all change that by going ahead and clicking subscribe if you haven't already done so. That being said, I'm quite sure this will be a new video to most of you, if not all of you. I'm a little shy sharing some of my older work, but I think you might find it interesting to see how I've progressed over the last year and a half. The video quality has certainly gotten better, and I think my style and presentation in general has come a long way as well. The information itself, well, that's evergreen, so I really hope you'll find it useful, even though it may be a little rough around the edges. So, in a nutshell, I mean, that's all there really is to rhythm changes. As you can see, it's quite an easy song form and really not that difficult to play. So I'll demonstrate. You got it, it's clear, right? Hi friends, I am the Saxophone Oracle, and this week's topic I wanted to talk about some ways to go about finding a good teacher or finding the right teacher for you. So I made a list of 10 things. It could be a much longer list obviously, but I narrowed it down to 10 for this video. The first 5 are going to be some do's and don'ts, and then the second 5 are going to be some questions you want to ask yourself or this person you're seeking out as an instructor. Okay. So let's start. Number one, do not go by price. Don't go shopping for a music teacher trying to find the best deal or the cheapest option available. Okay, a good teacher is a professional like any other. Many of us have graduate degrees, things like that. That's not really important, but what is important is a good teacher has put in countless, like we're talking tens of thousands of hours, learning how to play their instrument, learning music, how it works, the building blocks, and also has the experience explaining it to other people, experience teaching. You know, so you're going to have to pay for that. You know, you hire a lawyer, you're going to pay $300, $500 an hour, a therapist, a couple $100, a good mechanic, $100, $150 an hour. So expect to pay for a teacher. So a great teacher, while they might be worth hundreds of dollars an hour, the market doesn't bear it. So what I would say, on average, depending where you live, things like that, somewhere between 40 and 80 American dollars an hour, I think is a safe ballpark to be what you're budgeting for. So I know we all don't have endless budgets, but maybe a good teacher, if it's $50 an hour, you can't afford that every week. Maybe you want to do it every second week or once a month or something like that. But to ensure you have someone who's good and worthwhile. Number 2 is another don't. Don't go shopping online. That's not where you're going to find a great teacher. You're not looking on Craigslist. You're not, I mean, different cities have different things, different countries have different systems, you know. Like where I live, if you search online for a music teacher, you're going to come across these websites of like a music academy or music school, etc. And while some of these places do have good teachers, and you might find a good teacher, by and large, you're kind of not getting the best there. Because the way it works is they're running a business, right? So say they're charging you as a client $40 an hour or something for a saxophone lesson. So, I mean, they need to make their end, so they're keeping about 20. And so what they're paying teachers is between something like, you know, $12, $15 to maybe $25 an hour tops. So they're not really attracting the best teachers or the most experienced teachers. Again, you might find a great teacher in there, you know, but it's really not the best way. So don't shop online. But number 3, do go by referrals. Like most things in life, we go by someone who's recommended to us. Well, the music industry, whether you're looking for someone to play in your band or record with, or someone to teach you, you want to go with someone who comes highly recommended. right? So it doesn't matter if their website says, oh, I went to the best school, I went to Juilliard or Berkeley or North Texas or Manhattan or whatever. That doesn't matter. What you want to do is find out who their students are, or if you have friends, friends who are taking lessons, ask them about their teacher. What do they like? What they don't like? If you're a high school student, talk to your band director. They know who's out there in your city who has a good reputation, and they've probably had countless other students go through it. So it's not it's not about where the person, the kind of education the person had or who that person studied with, etc. It's really who's a good teacher. You want to find that out through referrals. Number 4, this probably goes without saying, but make sure your teacher is an accomplished teacher, but an accomplished player. Like, make sure they know how to play their instruments. If you go through like Craigslist, things like that, you're going to find all kinds of people who have no business teaching music, but they offer lessons, etc. Make sure they sound good, they know how to play good, they play at a high level, right? It's super important. Going back to the music academy thing I was talking about in online lessons. When I was younger, I taught for one of these places for a while, and when I signed up, I was like, look, if you're looking for a saxophone teacher, I'm interested. And they immediately were like, well, what else can you do? Can you teach flute? Can you teach clarinet? Can you teach composition? Can you teach arranging? And I was like, yeah, well, actually, I'm a very good flute player. I'm a very good clarinet player. I studied all these other things. I'm quite accomplished. Yeah, I could do that if you need. And they're like, well, how about piano? Because we have the most students coming in. Everyone wants to learn how to play piano. And I was like, well, I'm not really a piano player. I don't really teach piano. And they're like, oh, come on, you have a master's degree, you must play piano. And I was like, yeah, I play piano, I'm okay. Like, okay, so then how about we send you beginner students and intermediate students? I was like, hold on a minute, like, no, I'm not an accomplished pianist. There's all kinds of great piano players out there and piano teachers. Why would you start a beginner with someone like me who's just a hack at piano? There's people who are supposed to do that. So make sure the person who's teaching you is accomplished at what you're trying to learn, right? If you want to learn classical saxophone, make sure it's a great classical saxophone player. If someone comes to me and says, hey, I really want to work on merengues and salsa playing, I'd say, guess what? I'm not the guy for you, but I know who is, so go speak to so-and-so. Okay? Are they accomplished on your instrument? Are they accomplished teachers? And are they accomplished at what it is you're trying to learn? Number 5, the last of the do's and don'ts. So we talked about getting someone who's an accomplished player, but do not go looking for lessons with the latest prodigy or whoever's the hottest saxophone player in town. And I'll tell you why. Because while these people are great players, 9 times out of 10, they're not great teachers, right? Especially these prodigies, they click on music, with music on a different level, right? From a very young age, they got it. They think about things differently, right? So sure, if you're very advanced, you're a professional, go see if you can get a lesson with, whoever, Chris Potter, someone like that. You're gonna learn a ton. But if you're just starting out, don't go, this guy's the best player in the world, I gotta go and take lessons with them. Because they haven't had the same trials and errors. They haven't had to approach the problems the same way most individuals do. So while you want a great player, you want someone who's had to really work hard to figure out the pieces, so that they can help you figure out ways that you're gonna learn best, right? It's just, most of us just don't click like that. So don't go trying to study with a prodigy. That's number 5 of the do's and don'ts. So the first 5 were do's and don'ts. Now the next 5 are more about what makes a great teacher, what makes the right fit for you, what are the questions to ask of them, what are the questions to ask yourself. So number 6 on the list is, does this person ask questions and are they engaged? Okay, this is very important. When you go to someone for a lesson for the first time, they should be asking you questions. They should be learning about you, the kind of music you like, what your goals are. Do you want to be the next superstar saxophone player? Do you just want to do this for a hobby in your spare time? Do you want to maybe get good enough to play in a community band? Do you want to who knows what it is, but they should be curious about you, want to know what your goals are, and engaged enough to help direct you towards those things. Number 7, are they organized? Is this person organized? This is really important. And unfortunately, a lot of us artistic types, we're not super organized. We don't have our stuff together. But, you know, is this person going to see you regularly on a regular schedule? Can you rely on them? When you go to lessons, do they have a plan for you? I mean, they don't have to present you with a whole syllabus like a university course or something, but do they have a direction for you? You know, they've already understood what your goals are. Are they working towards it? Are they taking notes? Do they ask you to bring a notepad with you to your lessons? Are they marking down the date, what you have to take home with you? It's not just for you, like, okay, here's your homework, but it's for them, because they may have many things, or, you know, they just don't spend all week thinking about the lesson with you. So do they have it noted down so that when you come in the next time, okay, did you do this? Did you do this? Okay, check, we've accomplished that. Here's the next thing. So is this person organized? It's really important. Number 8, is your teacher assigning you things that are appropriate to your level and appropriate to your goals and your development? This is really big. Like, I'll give you, for an example, look, I've been blessed to have mostly exceptionally good teachers throughout my life, but I have had a few mediocre ones and a few that were terrible. But for in one example, I had this teacher, and they had a lot of students, and we would go to lessons, and we would all be working on as the studio of students, we'd all be working on the same things. And what was being assigned to us were what our teacher was working on. So while this was great information, really useful stuff, at that time, it was completely over my head and not what I needed, right? There were significant gaps in my playing. There were things I needed to work on, you know, fundamental things, other challenges. So of course, you know, years later, as I became a better player, I'd go back to my notes from my lessons with that teacher, and then I'd clue in, oh, I see what they're talking about, and then I could apply it later. But at the time, while I was studying with that teacher, it wasn't the information that was relevant to me, what I needed for my development at that moment in time, right? For this teacher, it was a way for them, you know, they needed, I guess, to make a living, they taught, and they found a way that they could continue working on their own concepts while teaching me. So great, but in terms of, was that the best teacher for me? No. So make sure they're assigning you appropriate things for your level, for your goal, and things, you know, tougher things that are going to help you get to the next level, right? But not things that are out of your grasp or completely unimportant. Number 9, do they explain things clearly in a way that you understand, right? Music is very difficult, and it's also very abstract, and there's not one correct way to think about any given thing, right? And we all have different styles of learning and interpreting and internalizing the information. So does your teacher, are they making an effort to explain it in a way that you'll understand it? Are they making sure that it's clicking with you, right? One example would be, pentatonic scales. You have the major pentatonic scale, you have the minor pentatonic scale. They're the exact same set of notes. So C major pentatonic are the same notes as A minor pentatonic, right? For some people, whatever it is, they have an easier time grasping it as a minor scale. Some people understand it better as a major scale. You know, it's the exact same material, but described in 2 different ways, right? So there's so many ways of coming about a musical problem or explaining a solution or a concept. So does your teacher making the effort to find the way that it clicks with you? And then number 10, the final one, I would say, is the person you're studying with, you got to ask yourself, are they really there for you, or are they there for them? Because look, it's the truth. I mean, you're the student. You want someone who's there, who's committed to your learning, to your development, things like that. Again, I've had some really great teachers. I've had teachers who've gone above and beyond, and you can't expect that from every teacher. But, for example, I had a teacher who, when I was looking for saxophones, would help me shop. They took a Saturday off one day, took a Saturday afternoon off to listen, do like a blindfold test as I tried different horns that I was thinking about buying, to give their opinion. You can't expect that from every teacher, but you certainly need to expect that they're there, they have your best interests at heart. I mean, the reality is, in the professional music world, most everybody teaches as part of their income, supplement their income, When I think about my colleagues, I think on one hand maybe of people I know who just don't teach, and you ask them why and they're very honest. It's like, I don't like it, or I'm not particularly good at it, or I don't have the, but for the most part, everyone teaches, and a lot of teachers are just there for the paycheck, unfortunately. They're not really engaged in your learning. They just want to make some money, So is this person checking in with you? Are they making sure you progress? Or are they really interested in you, as a whole? Are you their focus, right? So that's very, very important. Number 10, are they there for you, the student? I'm the Saxophone Oracle, and that's what I wanted to talk about this week, right? Finding a good teacher. It's not always easy, but a great teacher is super valuable to our development as musicians. Not everyone's a great teacher, or some people are great teachers, but they're not the right fit for you. It's a two-way street. So those are some things to do, some things not to do, and some questions to ask yourself and to ask of the people that are going to be helping you on your musical journey. All right. So as always, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below or reach out to me by email. I'd love to address them in further videos. That's it. Happy practicing and happy hunting for your one-on-one lessons. Bye for now.